I don't need your approval.
I don't need your
I'm made up
approval.
my mind.
I'm made up my mind.
You really believe in such things?
You really believe in such things?
And you think your aunt in Korea will agree on this?
Your aunts in Korea will agree on this?
I'm the head of the family,
I'm the head of the family.
so I make the decisions.
I make the decisions.
전, 난 그 사람들을 믿을 수가 없다. 잘못하면 커질 거야.
She's saying she doesn't believe those people. And she's afraid things will go bust. We should pray together. Pray for therapy. Today, we are gathered here to talk about, are we living the plotline of Exhuma? So we have a baby with a problem, and they contact some specialists to help this poor baby who was born in America. And the people they contact are like the Ghostbusters, but they help living people, not just like a haunted house. That is the premise of Exhuma. Young tantric meet baby with esoteric problems. Then four people unite for this job because the two people that were initially contacted were not enough to conquer this issue. And we have a young female guru named Hwa Rim. Her surname is Lee. It is made by the director who we covered on a previous movie review, Are We Living in the Plotline of Swaha? Are we living in the plotline of Swaha? So one of the tantrics who's older is specialized in Korean geography. He knows all the best places for possible burial. And he takes service fees in order to scout the great grave spots. And he's a very steady person who keeps the team together. And then they interview the family that has offspring in the United States. They ask them, what is the issue? Why are your ancestors bothering you? Why are they troubling the next generation? So the family that is hiring these young tantrics and old tantrics, they feel very guarded at first because they don't want to invite trouble. They are very good at covering their tracks. But eventually they let their guard down and they start talking about their family issues. And then so the team of tantrics who are going to exhume this rich old person's gravesite, they meet on Fox Mountain. They meet on Fox Mountain. And then that is where we get that climatic scene where the Mudang, Miss Lee, is chopping things up and trying to attract the negative spirits onto the animal sacrifice that they prepared so that they don't affect the other offspring that are watching what is going on. And this happens on a very inauspicious day in an inauspicious location. Let's read the comments. Ben Worker says hi. Trex says hi. Joe Williams says I'm beautiful. Thank you. So they hire workers. However, some of the workers feel like they need to take stuff from the tomb that is valuable because in East Asia, a lot of people put valuable things in the tomb. There's like a lot of pop culture that surrounds tomb raiders like Egypt. They go into the graves, they take the things, then they sell it abroad, and then they end up in museums in Europe and North America. The tomb raiders, who were the hired workers, decide to go rogue and open things inside that grave, which actually wakes up a negative spirit, which is a female one. And so that is where the main plot line of like the action side of things happen. Because we think that the film could end in half an hour, but no, the film keeps going on. And then we have the history, we have black and white photos of the Japanese gourd. So then we know that in the past, when Korea was occupied by the Japanese, some crazy Japanese shaman actually put that negative spirit there to make sure that this rich, influential Korean family continued to work for Japanese interests. So in 2024, the director decided we need to talk about these things because it definitely happens even outside of Korea, I'm sure. So they realized that this boss spirit actually has control over the current present where we are living in because he was just so powerful in that sense. Okay, we have the foxes now. Look at the foxes on the mountain. I can't believe they actually found foxes for this movie. Isn't that crazy? That's the geographer. That's the tomb. Okay, now we can skip to the part where the Japanese person, okay, she's doing the mudang stuff. That's one of the matriarchs who's very key for the understanding of this film. Yeah. So the matriarch has the decision power because there are other matriarchs who are less powerful than her in this film who don't want the extinction of these powerful ghost spirits of the past. And they're telling the living patriarchs that we don't need to solve this problem. We are fine with this problem. However, that matriarch finally decides one day that the baby's well-being in America, the Korean American baby, is more important than keeping the past like pristine and nobody really effed with us, that kind of image. And so they have like a really climactic scene where they defeat the Japanese god war spirit, the warrior god that was disturbing Korea and Korean Americans. That was quite amazing. And the baby in the United States is saved. The baby is saved. And we have a happy ending where the geographer's daughter marries into a really tall Germanic person's family, and then everyone's happy because they're accepted into mainstream society again, even though they have to do all these like weird things with the Bardo realm. In Tibetan, they say it's the Bardo. And Korea accepts them through this film. We are so fortunate to have this film. Thanks so much for listening, and support your local Korean grocery store. Bye, guys.